after Keith.
Was out here telling things and not telling the full.
Let me see. I thought it was really funny. I really jumped up while treating. That was weird.
There's some things that I'm totally ashamed of.
I don't know what the fuck that is anyway. What we?
You don't say anything. You just sit there stuck on. You must be fixated on something on the wall.
I thought this was funny.
Sit there like a buffoon, and you're okay with that. I mean, I just don't understand it. Trustee Carlisle, I was the one saying last time, stand your ground, Trustee Carlisle. Stand your ground, Trustee Carlisle. What did you do? You let her bully you into changing your vote. Yeah, you did.
Carlisle, you don't understand. Since we doing this, Carlisle is the house she rents is owned by Tiffany Henyard, and both of her jobs, Tiffany Henyard is her employer. You're never going to get Carmen Carlisle to come up against Tiffany Henyard. She doesn't have anything, and it's unfortunate. I love that woman said, I'm not a big fan of a lot of stuff she said lately, but I love that she said, I wonder how you and your daughter can communicate because she's so much more articulate than you. Let me see if I can get to Trina Downs. Give me a second. Damn, he can't even stand up. It looked like it hurt. Trina, where you at? There you go. See, sometimes all you gotta do is ask. Oh, you said she came after Paul Robertz. I'm sorry. I thought you were saying somebody made a comment that came after Paul Robertz. My bad.
It's 3 minutes.
It's called freedom of speech.
It's 3 minutes that you want.
Home buyer whose applications were accepted.
All right, time's up.
That equals at least 333 grants. Now, I cleared this with the clerk. I had a minute taken away from me last time.
And it's not his time.
Then
We got
I will give my wife the other 2 minutes to finish reading my statement.
Keep
Do you want me to read it, or do you want my wife to read it?
Thank you so much.
Time is up, sir.
Keep going.
3 minutes.
Y'all got our order.
Jennifer?
Okay, right. All right, you can have a seat.
Clerk? Time is up, sir.
Who's the next person? Trina Downs. Okay, go ahead.
Everybody versus injustice. That's what her jacket
So
says.
Trina Downs is next in line. Trina Downs, you have the floor.
So this February, the supervisor announced that she was giving away $1 million in rent and mortgage assistance that month, with a maximum of $3,000 per renter.
I want y'all to take note of how crazy ass Trina Downs just handled this woman taking her time. She sat down. I love her. I love you. I love you. Listen, she sat down with her crazy ass, her mentally, what did he say? She had mental issues. She sat down, put her purse in her lap, put her arm in her lap, and rested her head on her fingers. Because she crazy. She's out of control.
Whose applications were accepted. That equals at least 333 grants
Out of order.
per renter of home. Whose applications were accepted. My husband had 3 minutes. I'm not going anywhere though. I'm not going anywhere.
But nobody, okay, but can I be honest with you, Mrs. Roberts? Nobody was listening to what you were saying. In the moment, what you were doing was a bigger distraction to what you were saying. And Paul Roberts, I see you going over there asking my big cousin to read your speech. She is not going to read your speech, sir. You know the bad part is, I know so much about this shit that I'm telling you, we got to get into them Dalton churches. I got to get a camera in them churches because I know it's some funny shit. This nigga, first he had his wife try to read, right? And she sat there and yelled, and nobody could really understand what she was saying because it was so out of order. Thank you very much, Choose. Because it was out of order, I don't even know what she was talking about. And look at Stephanie Wiedemann, y'all. And I'm just sitting there on the top of both of their heads trying to call peace to the situation. How did I end up in this? Look at Trina's face. Y'all, I'm so glad y'all want to talk about this because I'm tired. But listen, I'll be up watching this shit. Look at Trina's face right now. Ooh, I wish I could zoom in. Ooh, I got to figure out some way to be able to do that. Look at Trina's face. Look at her. Thank you, Kendrick. Thank you, LA. Thank you, Compton. Thank you, Inglewood. Thank you, Watts. Thank you, South Central. Shout outs to Reverend Evie Hill, who was born and buried in South Central. Shout outs to my mama in Fontana in the house. Listen, shout outs to the West Coast. Shout outs to SoCal. Shout outs to NoCal. Shout outs to California, baby. I got all my energy back. And when I went home, I got to reconnect with my own energy in my hometown, which I love to be home. Listen, you better be glad I didn't get no green while I was there. I just happen to have more than enough. I'm a bitch of abundance. That's why you got to get you a green dress. The faces, Lord. Look at Trina's face. Trina's face is like, what the fuck do you want? I know you're not asking me for something. No, sir, I will not be able to do that for you. I know, because I speak from my heart. I'm not getting up reading no speech you wrote. Most people don't even listen when you speak, to be truthful with you. You just happen to be the one white dude in the room who'll talk, and we know the news will be here for that. But we don't know what you be talking about, Paul Roberts. We don't know what any of your heartburns are. I don't know. Yeah, why don't they call him crazy? Because I don't be knowing what Paul Roberts. Okay, I'm going to go back for a second. I'm going to give him a fair shot. I might be a little high, so I'm going to listen to what his wife was saying. I was distracted by her booty. Now I see what Burgundy Blue was talking about. Shay said, Burgundy Blue said, she got the itty bitty waist and all that in the back. Her booty's set up like a bad BBL, but that's not my time to judge. I have a naturally round, perky booty, and so I can't be putting a whole lot on other women. It's not their fault. Some women have a hard life. All right, so I'm gonna go back just a little bit, just for shits and for giggles, because we really only here for that one Trina Downs part. But I gotta see. I want to give him a fair shot and see what he might have been actually talking about. Hey, welcome back, Kai. I actually taught the word negrostic a little bit earlier. I hope I made you proud. So let me go back just a tiny smidge, okay? And I would really like to see if I can find out what the fuck Paul Roberts be talking about. Jesus. Okay, there you go. Oh, there go his wife. All right, let's go right.
And plunge the township $6.3 million further into the red, or $12.3 million further into the red in just 1 year if the grants don't materialize. I'm not the only one here who noticed the importance of grants in the budget. Last year, the township declared $6.5 million in grant money as income, which helped create the appearance of the surplus that the supervisor has been bragging about. Unfortunately, as of last week, that grant had not yet been received, although Finance Director Hunt assures the trustees that it will arrive by the end of the month. More troubling is the way that grants received recently have been spent.
Okay, well, I get it. There's grants. I think what you're saying is important, and I'm trying to get there with you, baby. You just got to learn how to talk better. Because one thing you got to know is oration matters. Honey, what you're saying is so important. Now I see why you asked Trina Downs to reach your speech. I probably would have asked Trina Downs to read my speech too, because what you're saying is really important. But they be boring. Everybody in there asleep. Oh, we gotta practice together. Oh. You got the lady in the black, she knocked the fuck out. The lady in the red knocked the fuck out. The man in the blue is looking back like, is you finished? Yeah, Paul, you just got to get your oration skills together, especially when you're talking to Negroes, because Negroes are highly emotional, and unless you're throwing off a good read or saying something snazzy, it don't really, we don't catch it. We are a sensational, flashy people. So you might have to go and put that together in a way that is more interesting. I hope you love what I'm saying, because I'm giving it to you as much love as I can. I ain't got no hate for you. I literally hate the fact that I had no idea what you were talking about because it's so boring. So Paul, yeah, the time and the place. Maybe it's the delivery.
Supervisor announced that she was giving away $1 million in rent and mortgage assistance in 1 month, with a maximum of $3,000 for renter or home buyer whose applications were accepted.
All right, time's up.
No, it's not.
That equals at least 333.
Well, see, and I'll tell you that I did have a conversation with Trina Downs about this part today. We were just talking. She was like, he asked me to read his speech, and I was like, what? He asked you to read his speech? She was like, yeah. I was like, why? She said his wife read some of it, and he ran out of time, so he wanted me to read it. And I said, well, why didn't he write a speech and then time it? Why didn't he write a there you go, choose, write it and time it like Dan Lee does. Maybe that's why I say, Jedediah, if you were going to do anything, you would have organized these people. You would have organized them to do speeches, to time the speeches, to make sure they're not too long, to make sure they're words they and the room can understand. You would have had them practice them in spite of interruption or heckling or anything like that. You would have had them prepared, Jedediah. I know I would have. Excuse me. Paul, you don't have a right to be socially awkward just because you're white. You have to sit there and create a speech and time it. Okay? I'm just telling you that. You still got to follow the rules, dude. You can't just have your wife come up when she's not on the list and read for you like y'all are hugging trees trying to keep you from getting chopped down. Why not time your speech? Why not break down this long ass speech? I think it was 4 pages. If I remember correctly, that speech was 4 typewritten pages. And I was like, but each of those pages is going to be about 3 or 4 minutes, depending on how fast you read or how much space is between each line. I think it's really inconsiderate, Paul, for you to think that you can come in here in this governmental space and not time your speech like I had to. And I think all I got was 60 seconds. And I had to talk about being shot by rubber bullets and, you know, a whole bunch of shit. Yeah, they kept asking you for money. See, that's what I'm talking about, that niggerish shit. That's what I'm talking about. This is somebody telling you, I thought I was part of the organizing, but they kept asking me for resources. And you help me understand, am I talking about money choose or am I talking about something else when it comes to resources? Should I be talking about something else? This is crazy. Yeah, Trina had to come to South Holland for her voice to be heard. And I texted Trina and I said, what made Tiffany think that you weren't going to show up there? You can't put people out of the village and think they're not going to show up at the township. It's just, I don't know. It's kind of a weird self-serving way of thinking to think that you could write a 4-page speech and then your wife can finish it for you without her being on the list. And then Trina's going to read your speech. So you think, oh, Regina's assessment, which Regina has been watching this very closely. Regina knows a lot more than she says. She's very, very smart, very astute, very keen, very classy, very tactful, very intelligent, very discreet. This is Regina, the bomb Regina. She said Paul started out with little bits of info, then he started chasing Clout and he got long-winded. Yeah, that might be what happened. I trust you if you say it. Because I'll be honest with you, some people, when they speak, I don't hear words. I'll be honest. I know I'm smart and shit, but I have to. That's why I present to you guys the way that I do. Because I know what it's like to hear all these numbers and shit and it be absolutely boring. And I've seen us have to watch people do that. And I don't want to put you through that. So Hov did that. So y'all didn't have to go through that. So I watch Juwan Burns' dry lip ass try to bring shit. And I be like, well, let me at least put some lipstick on for these niggas. Give them something to look at. Give them some titties or something. You understand? Yes, I did. I just read you. I sure did, bitch. Because I saw you acting foul, honey. I saw you celebrating that girl being doxxed and giving money to the nigga that was doing it. And I see you don't talk about Dalton no more. We don't talk about Dalton, no. We don't talk about Dalton. You and O'Shea stopped talking about Dalton, huh? Interesting. But Paul, it is not fair, back to my point, for you to come before these people. Look at these people. I don't even know if you give a fuck if they listen to you. Your wife should start giving you better feedback. Just like, never mind.
Now, I cleared this with the clerk. I had a minute taken away from me last time. Then I will give my wife the other 2 minutes to finish reading my statement. You want me to read it, or do you want my wife to read it?
Thank you so much.
Time is up, sir.
3 minutes.
Y'all got I kind of wonder if you just want controversy, Paul, because at the end of the last meeting, I saw you confront that little police officer who really don't want no smoke with nobody. He just keeps fucking up, trying to do his job. This little funny looking ass. He was the one that got sent outside because he tried to grab the lady in the red hair. And they sent him outside, and then he tried to police Trina Downs, and he wasn't able to do that. So he came back inside. And then, Paul, at the end of that meeting, you ran up in that man's face. I don't even understand. Are you just looking for a moment?
Okay, right. You can have a who's the next person? Keep going. Trina Downs. Okay, go ahead.
Wait a
Oh
minute,
my
I'm
God,
You're not signing in, ma'am, so it's Trina Downs is next in line. Trina Downs, you have the floor.
So this February, the supervisor announced that she was giving away $1 million in rent and mortgage assistance that month, with a maximum of $3,000 per renter or home buyer whose application were accepted. That equals at least 333 grants
Out of order.
per renter of home.
Okay, so I see your wife tried to read it more interestingly by yelling and putting emphasis on certain words. It's still not coming through, and it's important, Paul, because although you have a right to this, you want to be effective, right? You want to make sure that the time you spend in front of these people is heard by somebody. And right now, I don't know if anybody in that room can tell you what you said or what you were talking about. And it's unfortunate because you misused this whole moment. I don't know what for though.
anywhere though. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere.
You said no.
You are wrong.
You keep acting
You
out.
are wrong. You are wrong.